Welcome to TSW After Darkside.
Steve, I said last week that it was probably a good idea that if we're going to have like a after match conversation, might as well record it and put it out as a separate podcast.
Yeah.
Because you had some really interesting things last week, and I watched that trailer for that game, and the game that I can't remember the name of it. I thought it was really gorgeous.
Yeah. Isn't it?
What was it called? What was
Nomans Sky.
Nomans Sky. It looks gorgeous.
The developers got really good pedigree. They made a game called Joe Danger, which is a bit like have you ever played Trials?
No.
It's like a sort of motocross game where the idea is you're sort of going from left to right and you're sort of trying to leap, you're leaping obstacles, doing tricks in the air and things like that. And Joe Danger is a similar game, but it's all about this retired stuntman who comes out of retirement and starts doing these things again, and it's just a bit of fun.
But they have gone from a tiny little outfit in, I forget where it is now, somewhere like...
is it Scandinavia?
No, they're in London, and in somewhere like, where the office was based, Slough.
Oh,
Slough.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're British. They're in England, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. Hello. Yeah, they're called Hello Games, aren't they?
Yeah, Hello Games. But they've gone from that tiny little
Guildford
spec to building what could possibly be a record-breaking game.
Yeah, Guildford.
It's been on Stephen Colbert already.
You think No Man's Sky is going to break records?
I think it is. Yeah, because nothing's been done like it. And
no, it's very much.
You've had Minecraft uses procedurally generated algorithms, but not in the same way. This is something in a totally different.
I was going to ask about that, because it sounded like Minecraft-y kind of world generation.
I think to a degree it is. I mean, it has got some traits of that, but there are not once in the game will it tell you why you're there or where to go. There's no objectives. Because when you think about it in games, it all makes it unreal. Like you're surrounded by this beautiful battlefield game where you're immersed in war, and then it says, "Oh, combo," and it's like, what? And that kind of does draw you away from the immersion of being in this world. And Mark, it's highly likely that they're going to release it with the new Sony VR headset.
Oh,
I'd be very surprised if they didn't.
Project Morpheus, is that?
Yeah, and PlayStation.
I will definitely get it. Even if it makes me sick, I will get it.
I think those VR things, I don't think the word fad would be too strong. I think they're going to be very much more niche than people like to think. Because, especially, have you seen the price of the fucking thing?
Yeah, they are like another... Well,
$800
for Morpheus.
Morpheus is going to be about
just for Morpheus. It's twice the price of the fucking machine.
That's an iPad Pro.
Well, you're probably thinking of Oculus, Rob. Are you there?
No, that's the rumored price point for VR as well.
Well, it's also going to be. It has its own processor, own graphics card, because it has to render everything twice because it's 3D as well.
Yes.
So it renders. So it's having to render basically another version of what you see on one screen, kinked off to one side like another eye. So it has to do that, and it also has to do a lot of processing for your movements, and you need PlayStation Eye because the VR headset has a load of lights around it, which it tracks the movement of your head.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna. That's why Sony. I wouldn't surprise me if Sony have paid them a shitload of money to hold fire on the game from this year, which from last year when its release was rumoured.
You might well be right there. That would make a lot of sense.
But it's also given them time to polish No Man's Sky because there are so many extra things that people have requested.
Yes, of course.
That they're now putting in.
What sort of things, Steve?
Like the ability to do customised ships, and there used to be mentioned space whales. They're talking about space entities now, like Star Trek, like you used to have in Star Trek. Possibly building your own space station. Lots of small things when you're on planet.
Yeah, little polish things.
Optimizing the draw distance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's going to be I'm pleased. It's one of the only games I'm really pleased they.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'll say that definitely. The only thing I'd be wary of is, are you familiar with Star Citizen?
Yeah, that's got 120 million on startup.
It's by far the most kickstarted thing of all
Yeah.
time.
Wow.
It's raised I think 95 to 100 million in in backer capital, and they're about 3 years behind because they keep adding stuff.
Well, the thing is, they didn't realise they'd get so much money from the Kickstarter. Now they've got the money to put all the stuff in, but it's taking longer. So it's kind of reverse of, it's kind of everyone in the nuts. But then a lot of people are fine with it. A lot of people are actually like, I don't care as long as it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, I'm not a big crowdfunding person generally. I'm very skeptical of the whole thing because of the way it raises money. I find it a bit sus. Because when you're pitching a product to a business, or let's say for argument's sake that we were we became super big, and we were approached by some big kind of capital firm to invest money in it. They'd invest the money, and then we'd give them their investment back and a percentage of profits and whatever. With Kickstarter, you don't do that. What happens is you raise the money by just people give it to you. And then you keep all the profits of everything you sell. Yeah,
you don't even give them a free game.
Not necessarily. No, this is it. If you put in a low enough, you put them in at a low enough backer reward, you don't have to give them fuck all. You put a thank you in the credits, and that's their lot. And everything you sell is profit, which to me just seems a bit exploitative.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. There are creators out there that do a great deal more for their supporters. Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean,
things like Patreon. There's a platform called Patreon, isn't there, where you can set up and you can have people that donate to you.
I like that even less than Kickstarter.
Do you?
Because it's just because of the people using it. It's not so much about the service itself. Because I think that it's nice to have, there's something to be said for democratizing platforms like that. What my issue comes around with it is that people can use it to exploit people.
They can, but there's also. I'm just going to play devil's advocate here because I don't feel passionate about either way. But
no, that's fine.
There is a lot to be said for it for people in our situation who we're not a media entity. We're not like Nerdist, and we're not like to a certain degree Kevin Smith's Smodco.
Yeah,
we're not up there doing this. Costs us money.
Of course, I mean,
it costs money to run the site. It costs money to store this stuff, to host it. All of those things have fees.
Absolutely.
And in a way, it gives people like us. I mean, we don't need it right now because we're just getting going. But there are podcasts that I do enjoy. There's one in particular that I'm a big fan of. It's called the Talking Deadcast.
Okay.
And there's these two guys from Canada. They're fantastic, really good podcast hosts. Really nice guys, very, very funny, really insightful. Mm-hmm. But they set up a Patreon campaign just to try and underwrite the cost of doing what they do twice a week for free.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So they just set up something where you can... They've got a friend of theirs, this guy his name's Dave. He's a very talented artist, and he's got his own zombie comic book out there, which I wish I could remember the name of it. I'm struggling, but he's very, very good. And he did some original artwork for them. So that's one of their things. You donate $1 or whatever every month. They'll send you one of those things. And and then there are, they're talking about expanding and doing private shows. So if you're a Patreon, you'll get access to that before everybody else,
Yeah, I mean, that's my worry about it, because there's a podcast I really like that was originally kickstarted and then moved to Patreon after a couple of years. And gradually I'm noticing more and more stuff disappear behind the paywall. Right. And, you get the base show, but if you've supported them over the last 5-6 years, got people into it and so on, you're gradually losing out on the percentage of what they're producing.
The show, Rob?
It's called The Comedy Button.
Right.
And it was a few guys who used to work at IGN who hijacked an Xbox podcast and turned it into a conversation about fuck all.
Right.
And then people liked the conversation about fuck all, and it turned into the most popular podcast on IGN's network when it was the second worst, I think, when they first started doing it.
Right, okay.
And by the end, it was called the GameSpy Debriefings, and by the end, it was barely recognisable from the original show because it was nothing to do with games at all. It was about, Sesame Street and all sorts of crazy shit.
Right, okay.
And it's actually the Comedy Button, the one they went to kickstart and kind of spin off from that, was actually the inspiration for the Crazy Train. because I looked at that and I thought, well, you know, they've made a kind of a popular show out of the kind of long, loose format, talk about whatever you fancy kind of format. And obviously they had a certain platform to start with, because obviously they had access to the IGN listener base. But at the same time, I was thinking, well, you know, I'm not so desperate to make, you know, I'm not desperate to kind of conquer the world with my creative projects. They're just to entertain me, and then anybody else beyond that is a bonus.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about what I do as well. I'm very passionate about the podcasting platform. I think it's really interesting. Oh
yeah, totally. And I'm saying to somebody the other day, because he was asking me about this show, and I cannot thank you enough, Mark, for bringing me in, because it came at an absolutely perfect time when I was getting a little bit disillusioned with podcasting and kind of pumping the energy into it, and this has really kind of jazzed me up again, so it's really nice.
Well, no, I think you slotted in beautifully, and all the stars just aligned for everybody, really, didn't they? With Jeremy wanting to step away for a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of worked out well. You know, it all stemmed from me just spotting one of your Facebook posts and going, oh, I'll check out his podcast, and going, oh, I really like this.
Yeah, see, I've connected with a lot of podcasters this week over this, and interviewing Gloria and Anna Maria has helped as well.
Yes.
Because they've helped get our name out there a little bit further, a little bit wider than it would have already.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I've managed to connect.
Yeah, I mean, there's an element of this, of kind of a combination of publicity, PR, and nepotism to this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it helps to have people you know who can put a word in somebody's ear. I am on the subject. I did catch your email about that Samantha. I'm keeping an eye on her to make sure she's not a mental.
Yeah, good.
And then failing that, you know, making sure that she's not mental, I will get in touch and kind of just introduce the show to her and say, you know, we'd love to have you on and stuff.
Yeah, we have got, when I get back from my travels, we've got to sit down with Ronnie Bridger from The Force Awakens.
Yes.
That'll be an interesting conversation. And I've got somebody else who might be able to put us on to...
Harrison Ford.
No, not Harrison Ford.
So what are we doing?
It'd be more like Chewie, I think. Not Peter Mayhew, the actual Chewie.
Yeah, but I'd rather have that. Harrison Ford's not very charismatic.
I can do
respect.
I can do half decent, terrible impressions of some of the cast. So you know.
Oh well, there you go. We can always try and con people. Thinking we might have access to somebody that played a stormtrooper in the original movie, so that might be an interesting conversation.
Nice.
That was there.
Cool. Fresh from the convention trail.
Yeah. Straight from the
there do seem to be some people who just live off that stuff.
Yeah, they do.
It's quite impressive, really.
Yeah, it really is.
We've seen Galaxy Quest. We know it happens.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it's
That'll
true.
Be us one day.
That's another awesome movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh,
that's one
of the movies. If it ever comes on, you've got to watch it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I actually put it on recently.
Yeah, I put it on for my Jen. She didn't really. I don't think she really got it, because I don't think some of the stuff that rings true for me doesn't necessarily ring true for her.
Right.
But I think she enjoyed it enough. But I don't know if she'd go out of her way to watch it again if it was on.
I really enjoyed it. I like.
I love that movie.
Justin Long.
He's really good in it.
So
yeah,
young in it.
Yeah, he's about 10 or whatever.
Did I hear a rumour they're making a TV show about that?
Oh, I think
I've heard that. Yeah.
That would be great.
It would be great.
I don't care. I just love that show. I wouldn't care if it was shit. I'd still watch it, I think.
Yeah. Anything that gives Sam Rockwell more work is all right by me.
Yeah.
I don't imagine he'd be anywhere near the TV show. Let's just have a
You don't reckon?
No.
I'd like to think he'd have a go, maybe as a one-off.
He's an absolute legend. I think he's well beyond that now. Shame.
Maybe. Oh. I don't know, though. I haven't really seen him in much recently.
Being adapted for television by Amazon Studios.
Oh, perfect. It's on Prime. It'll be on Prime then.
All the way in the back. What was it called? Way back. Thank you, Jen.
I got a copy of it, and I haven't watched it yet.
I've got loads of stuff like that. It's really annoying. I bought Days of Future Past the other day on Blu-ray. I still haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Which one did you get? The regular one, or the Rogue cut?
The regular one. It's a DVD Blu-ray Ultraviolet box set thing, but it's £4, so I thought it'd be worth a go.
Well, to start, Ultraviolet can screw off. because that's a piece of crap.
Yeah, I know you're not a fan of that one.
No, I am not a fan of that. But the film itself, I really like, and I got the Rogue cut, and I very rarely double dip, especially now that I'm digital.
Yeah.
Because I can't sell the original one on, which I would have done previously.
Right.
But the Rogue cut makes for an interesting experience, and it actually shows up that there are a couple of holes in the regular version, if you like, which you won't notice until you've seen the Rogue cut, and then you think, oh yeah, of course that makes sense.
Right. Have you seen the trailer for Apocalypse?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Right. At the risk of going off on a tiny rant, I'll try and control myself.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Right,
I'm always. I've got an ear for your ranty tongue.
Okay, I have to preference this statement with a condition. I haven't seen Deadpool yet, although I'm reasonably sure that it's spectacular.
I've heard nothing but good. I've heard nothing but good things from all but two people.
Really? So
yeah, they said they liked it, but it wasn't amazing. But it's like, everybody else said it's amazing.
Steve, you liked it, didn't you?
Yeah, I normally hate things like that, and I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is very, I mean, it's a hate fourth wall stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not a great comic book fan.
Okay.
So for me to really like it, must say something.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
This I've not seen. I've seen a couple of little bits and pieces of it here and there. I've seen Ryan Reynolds talking about it, which I've very much enjoyed.
Yes.
But I think it's about time that we threw the current iteration of X-Men out.
Okay.
And rebooted it inside Daredevil. Because there are a couple of X-Men in Daredevil, aren't there? And I only going on what I've seen in the trailers, so I don't know for sure. But I think
get his name now, the Chromie one.
Colossus.
Deadpool, you mean?
Yeah. What did I say?
Daredevil.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, in Deadpool, yeah. So we got Colossus and
the girl as well with the shaved head.
I think she's relatively new to the franchise.
Yeah.
Is it
maybe she's one. Yeah, maybe she's one that hasn't been in the films before.
Negatronic Teenage Warhead or something.
She's definitely not one from the films.
She's not in. She's in the comic books, but as far as I can gather, they're in the X Mansion and they've got the jet and all that sort of stuff. So Fox now have two versions of the X-Men on the go. Mm-hmm. Because you've got them existing in the Deadpool universe, and then you've got the movie versions with...
Now, that's probably not quite right, because I think the Marvel Disney one can't reference the Fox ones, because you hear them in the... Sorry, go on.
Deadpool and the X-Men movies are all at Fox.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
No, not allowed
Deadpool's...
to talk mutants. No, Rob's right.
No. Marvel can't. Marvel Studios can't reference mutants, and there are certain elements that live in both camps. So Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch, they live in both camps, and they've crossed over already. There've been two versions of each.
Right.
Yeah.
But Daredevil is at Fox. Deadpool is at Fox.
It's the trouble is that you got fucking season 2 of Daredevil this year as well.
That is on my mind.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's
because I'm a massive Punisher fan, so I'm really excited.
Oh, I am too.
And John Bernthal is just, the more I think about that cast, the more it makes me excited, because he's just so awesome. Fucking good.
But so with Deadpool at Fox,
yep,
and with the X-Men at Fox,
yep,
and with the X-Men cropping up in Deadpool,
yep,
there's an opportunity now to say, let's just reboot the X-Men inside Deadpool and then spread them out and start telling new X-Men stories on their own, and you do a soft reboot. Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, I could do with a proper X-Men reboot, because they've done the sort of the cop-out one, which is the one with obviously you got the James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, who are great in that, and then you've got Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen still in. I think, well, hang on, just commit to the change.
Yeah,
it's not proper. It's like if they'd done, when they did the Spider-Man reboot. Say what you like about it. It's like if they'd kept Aunt May the same person, or something like that. It's not a proper, a proper reboot.
A good analogy is the Bond franchise, the way it kept Judi Dench.
Yeah, and or even Bernard Lee for however long. They that's always been he's been a common thread throughout, consistently though.
Yeah,
the character of M has always been the same person throughout, where possible, obviously. So, that one I can kind of deal with a bit easier. But it doesn't, like they say, the X-Men one felt like a proper cop out to me, like as reboots go.
Yeah,
because they still,
isn't it? That's why they did it, because they're transitioning between the two.
yeah. I mean, and I can see the logic of it. And as I say, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but hopefully the film's as good as everybody says. So
it's very good. Yeah, it's very good. Again, I mean, the Bryan Singer ones were always good. I've always enjoyed Bryan Singer ones, and that's why I liked it. I think.
Yeah.
X-Men 3 was abysmal.
I didn't care for X-Men 3 either. I liked Kelsey Grammer, but then he was just playing a Blue Fraser.
Yeah, that's true, actually,
Yeah, he wasn't really doing anything specially different with the character.
that may not be the only time you see him.
No?
Just let me say that may not be the only time you see Kelsey Grammer's
Hank McCoy.
Beast. Or Hank McCoy, well, Beast.
Yeah, both, yeah.
Yeah, you don't really see it. You see him all furry, don't you, really?
Yeah, you do, yeah.
The kid, what's his name from Mad Max?
Nicholas.
Oh,
yeah, he does both, doesn't he? He switches backwards and forwards between.
Yes, that's right. Hank McCoy and the Beast, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that's basically my take on.
Okay, so you'd
X-Men.
rather have a proper reboot rather than like you say.
I would really like to see the X-Men get rebooted now within
the Deadpool universe.
The Deadpool universe, so that you can go.
Mark.
Sorry, Steve.
Where does it end? All this pre-boot, reboot, free-boot.
Well,
yeah,
it's never not been a thing, is it?
True.
Yeah, but it's got ridiculous. Aren't they talking about rebooting Spider-Man again?
Yeah, they are.
But it is. It's being rebooted inside the MCU now.
Yes, because they've got the ability. They've got the ability to put him in the MCU.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to get him in Civil War, but they didn't quite get there.
Here's one for you, right? Before I left Movie Geeks Film News, I wrote an article. I used to write a thing called the Hollywood Pitch.
Okay.
Where I'd throw out an idea about how to reboot movies or dormant franchises. Like I tackled Jaws, Back to the Future,
Affleck,
Ghostbusters.
Done.
Affleck as the shark.
Done.
Because he could crush a ship with that jaw.
Exactly.
And one of the ones I did was the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
And I suggested that one way to reboot that would be to give them to the MCU, because Fox have really proven that they can't do much.
Absolutely
with
not.
the franchise.
Yeah. No.
And send it back to Marvel Studios so you can reboot it and reboot Reed Richards as a contemporary of Tony Stark's.
Yeah.
And have Reed preoccupied with studying the wormhole over New York. So that area that opened up in the first Avengers.
Yes, the one that gave Tony Stark PTSD.
Yeah. Have Reed obsessed with that.
Okay.
Wanting to study it and wanting to put a space station in front of it so that he can get up there and conduct all these experiments.
Yeah.
And because Tony's got this preoccupation with it because of his PTSD, he helps fund it along with a Latvian nobleman.
Okay. Victor Von Doom.
So he's got his money in there as well.
Yep.
And then he insists that because he's invested, he gets to go along on the mission with them.
Okay.
And go up and witness what Reed and his team do, and obviously we know who the team are.
Yeah.
Really in depth.
Sorry, say again, Steve.
Really in depth, this story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously Tony's really worried that this wormhole's going to open up and an army are going to come through it. But what Reed's saying is he's got evidence proving that it might open up, but it might not open up for long. And when it does, it just hits everybody with a burst of
cosmic radiation,
energy.
whatever it's power cosmic.
And Tony's up there with them. Do you remember he had that in Iron Man 3? There was a white armor, like a NASA looking armor that was floating around in the house party thing. So he's got that on, so he's protected from it. He whizzes around and collects everybody up and gets them back into safety. And as he starts prioritising these people, their condition is their exposure to it is slightly lessened, so their condition is a little bit better afterwards.
Yeah.
And the last person he gets is Ben Grimm, which is why he ends up messed up. And I thought the thing as being like the body. Did you ever play? What's that game I was playing on PlayStation? The Last of Us.
Yes.
You know those things that go around clicking? They have those big coral-like growths on them. I thought the thing could look like that.
Oh,
you know, it'd have all these big, almost like benign tumours that grow on him that that make up like little plates of armor that move around and shift, but they're all just really tough skin, which explains the orange sort of hue to it.
What a great game, by the way, as an aside.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet, but then,
it's
as we've covered previously, I'm a bit of a crap gamer.
But just, you take your time over these things. It's fair enough.
I will go back to it because I found that you can record it and put it on YouTube. And if I can't record what I do and put it out in some form, and then it's not worth doing.
I'm thinking of doing that with. I'm going to choose a game and do that for Emotionally 14 because we've got our first Let's Play going up on Monday, which was shot when we last recorded, and it's only a crude kind of proof of concept, but it proved to be simple enough to edit and easy enough to do that I'm going to try and encourage some of the others to get in on it and do some more of their own, because I think Blake, one of the guys who's on every Crazy Train, apart from me, is sorry.
He's the guy with the beard.
No, that's a guy called Joe. He's not. He appears in fits and starts on Emotionally 14 stuff because he's got a lot going on. He's doing a CG animation course at uni.
Superb.
Yeah, so he's in the process of doing a lot of coursework. He's got a new podcast, but I don't know how much it's very much a sort of as and when thing. There's no real schedule to it or anything like that. But he's a Crazy Train kind of, he's turned up on a fair few, and he has tried. I think he's tried to do some Let's Play stuff, but I don't know how well it went because he's never sent me the footage. So
right.
I don't know if it just didn't turn out how he was hoping. He did a scary game, and he does this kind of character where he's a bit of a weird guy anyway. So I don't know if he's trying to he'll try and out surreal the game.
Right.
That could make it quite entertaining, but I don't know how it turned out because, like I said, I never got the footage. So for all I know, it might have just been a bit of a dud.
Steve, have you ever recorded your gameplay?
No. No, that's not true. I've done it on. Well, in the PlayStation, you get the ability to do it records the last 15 minutes when you press the button. So we've sent each other recordings. Yes. I've done a couple of GTA crashes. I've put them on YouTube because it's quite easy for the PlayStation.
Yes, it is. That's one thing I will say is the Xbox does a better job of not bringing you out of the game when you record clips, but the PlayStation does a significantly better job of sharing clips.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy. Like the obviously the PS4 one, if you just go with the normal recording, it brings up that bloody overlay. You have to trim the clip there and then, name it and share it. Xbox just goes clip recorded, and then you go back to it later and do your tweaks. But once you've done it, PS4 goes straight to, you can put it straight on YouTube, you can put it on Facebook and whatever.
Yeah, very easy.
Xbox, you have to upload it to OneDrive and then go into OneDrive and get the file. Which, I mean, it's not a terrible system, but it's nowhere near as intuitive as the PS4's.
No, it's not very. It doesn't sound very user friendly.
No, it's a bit obstructive.
We didn't like the fact that it was considerably weaker machine and it was trying to be too much. So we all got rid of our Xboxes and moved to the PlayStation. Fair enough.
I got both. I've picked up both over the years, so I'm pretty all set for stuff to play. On the subject of recording clips, I don't know if you're aware of this, Steve, but if you press the share button once to do a last 30 seconds thing.
Yeah. If
you double tap it, it will record from then on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is when we recorded this Let's Play. We had to look it up. This is where we learned this.
What's that again, Rob?
So the share button that's on your controller, the one that you tap once to get your clip to then put on YouTube or Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
If you double tap it instead, it actually just sets up the recording to go from then on.
Right.
So if you want to do, I say 20 minutes of a game, then you just double tap the share button, do your little setup, and then set it running, and then after 20 minutes, just hit the share button once, and it will trim it there and give you the clip.
Oh, right, okay.
And it will store on your hard drive. What's really handy as well, in my experience, is that it stores it as a file on your hard drive that you can instantly copy to USB, and that's in a format that's PC readable instantly.
Oh, superb.
And to me, that's a fucking godsend when it comes to, when we were putting together this Let's Play, I'd recorded the player camera on my phone. So I had that clip to hand really easily. And then obviously I just copied the other clip off the hard drive, knocked them together in a way that was as unobstructive as possible, because that's the problem with Let's Plays. I find is half the time the people make their photo of them so fucking big that you can't see the game.
Ego.
And this is what we've I've been conscious to avoid, which is why it's taken so bloody long to get a format I like, because I'm a total perfectionist when it comes to this stuff. I found a way to reduce the size of the overall game video to 80% of the overall screen. Right. And then the other 20% is made up of the person, the game logo, and the E14 logo. So hopefully that looks nice when it's published. That'll be Monday. I'll be sharing it on. Obviously, I'll share it on social media and stuff when it comes out, because it's like we set it up as a sort of joke thing of the new guy, a guy called Marc, who's been on a few shows, properly became a sort of full-fledged team member of E14 at the last recording, and I've basically been making a joke that he beat Blake at a game, and that's why he's allowed to join. Because the running joke is that Blake's got, because he's signed into his controller, he's got tweaks that make him better at the game, because nobody can seem to beat him at certain ones. Right. So the running joke is that he's got sort of, he's got the Blake controller. This is why he's going to win. And Marc managed to beat him.
On PC, is that?
Sorry?
Is that on PC or on Xbox?
No, it's PS4.
Oh, PS4. So has he got one of those controllers? I know the ones you mean. Aren't they 170 quid?
No, this is a standard controller. We just made a joke about it.
Oh, I see.
Basically, we were suggesting that he'd modified it while we weren't there.
Because you can buy a controller that they're ridiculous. And on COD or Call of Duty, literally they shoot you before you come around the corner.
Yeah, well, there's the Elite controller for Xbox One, where you can take the fucking thumbsticks off and repurpose them, and you got about 106-way D-pad or fuck knows what.
This is why I don't play online.
This is why I get overwhelmed by this.
I spend all my time being respawned.
That's why, Marc, you might love Nomans Sky, because it isn't. You're on your own, but there's nothing to say. You and me could say, or Rob, we could say, look, I'm at these coordinates. It'll take you a couple of months to get here. Let's get together.
And in the meantime, I can't move.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of the game. You don't know where you are.
Yeah.
You can see people on your friends list, apparently. That's another thing they've done, Rob. You're saying what they've done in the time.
Yeah.
You can now see your friends on the
that's awesome.
map.
That's awesome.
Right, just hear me out here, right?
Go on.
Because this is going to sound very cynical of me.
Okay. Well, I'll be all right with this.
Does this not sound like the Emperor's New Clothes to you? Is it a case that someone's built a game that's just a screensaver and they've just said, just get on and kick around? It's such a big game, you'll never get... But there's no one else playing that game with you. You're never going to find anyone because you're just looking at a screensaver.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it is overwhelmingly huge. Apparently,
everyone's going to be saying that, though, Steve. It's so massive. I've never seen another person playing it. Except the guys that are sitting on a beach earning 20% from their billions they've taken from people.
From fucking Die Hard, is it?
Yeah, selling this lie that their screensavers is
a week off work to look at the screensaver.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've spent worse weeks off work.
There you go. That's what I'm going to kickstart anyway. I'm going to kickstart Marc's screensaver game.
No, all men's cash. It's called.
So I'll have all your cash. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's so big you'll never see another person on it.
Yeah. Somebody will buy it.
Did you, Rob? Did you watch Walking Dead?
I'm very out of date with it, but I do watch it. Yeah.
Steve, are you up to speed?
I'm one episode out the new series. My dad's told me about this show.
I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about spoilers, so you can feel free to talk about it.
Well, I've just
Ray about Rick. Apparently, she's boinked Rick.
Oh, I never saw that coming.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen it. My dad ruined it for me.
Didn't see that coming.
That's interesting. They've departed from the book. They've departed from the books in that one. Then.
Yeah, I was so shocked tonight. And it's a great episode as well.
If they have done it in the books, I haven't got there yet.
No, I don't think they do.
They do, because in the comics he boinks Andrea.
Yes.
After a while.
Yeah, so maybe this is because they're having to switch characters around at the moment, aren't they, to fill other roles where people have died prematurely.
Yeah. Well, they've done the same in Game of Thrones, because there are characters in that who are still alive in the books, who aren't alive in the TV show anymore, as far as I understand it.
I don't really watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
I failed. When I say I don't really watch it, I don't watch it. I failed at that.
Oh, fair enough. Is it something you want to watch and just never get the time, or?
Well, I wanted. I missed it, and then I said to Andy, our friend Andy, I said to him, I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to wait until we get about 5 years in, and then I'm going to discover it, and I'm going to champion its cause when I've got 5 years to binge. And I kind of tried to do that, and I downloaded season 1 from Sky.
Yeah.
And I got about 3 episodes in, and I found that I was on the iPad and I was on the iPhone. I just wasn't. It wasn't holding my attention. Like I watched Walking Dead tonight without. So I used the iPhone to control the TV, but I wasn't. I was absorbed by it, you know.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones didn't do that.
Oh, fair enough. So it's not for
Mark.
Sorry, Steve.
I'm like that with Dexter at the moment.
Oh,
completely glued to it.
I tried that. I tried a couple of episodes, and it's pretty good, but again, it's just not one of those ones that hold my attention personally. I tend to like. I don't know what I like really. Maybe I like nothing. Maybe I'm just joyless. That's the problem.
Just Star Wars for you, nothing else.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm not. We joke, but I'm looking at my shelves now, and in terms of stuff I'm into currently, there's not a lot there. I mean, it's a TV show wise, I don't keep up with anything because I'm very rarely in when TV stuff's on. I'm either editing or recording or playing games. I have a very finite amount of free time in an evening.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same because I'm usually creating content for Talk Star Wars in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, if
I'm writing or if I'm trying to consume stuff so that I can talk knowledgeably about the things that are happening in fandom, and it's so time consuming. But I'm glad my focus has narrowed. When we were doing Movie Geeks Film News, I had to have an eye on just about everything that was going on, and I found I wasn't getting enough focus on anything.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
That's exactly it. Yeah, and I don't mean to suggest that I'm a master of this, but I've got more of a focus on Star Wars.
You and Rob are pretty getting there with mastering Star Wars.
Hey, I'd say you're pretty much there, to be honest.
Jeremy and Freddie are pretty awesome.
Freddie is incredible.
But yeah, for his age, he's like, wow. He puts you to shame. Puts me to shame.
He's amazing.
Absolutely astounding for his age. But okay, I'm going to have to nip off, gentlefolk.
That's all right.
All right, chap.
Let's wrap this up.
General's waiting to watch Dexter.
That's all right, mate. I think we've had a pretty good after-show chat here. I thought this would probably be a good sort of half-hour format type thing. So
sounds good to me.
Let us know what you think. This is going to drop in the Talk Star Wars feed, so hopefully you've picked up on the fact that this is a sweary version of the regular show with no structure whatsoever. But if you enjoyed it, let us know. Throw us a line if you want us to talk about anything in particular. We'll try and get to it, but it is just going to be us decompressing after recording. Every week.
Sounds good.
It's nice.
I'll be back on form next week after my.
Well, we won't be around next week because Rob's moving and I'm not even in the UK, so that'll be a bit difficult.
Oh well.
But the week after.
Where are you next week, Mark?
I will be in the Canary Islands.
Very
but
nice.
by the time this goes up, I will be at home. About a couple of hours after this goes on iTunes, I'll be at home depressed because I'm no longer in the Canary Islands.
Are you going Gran Canaria?
No, Lanzarote.
Oh, nice. Okay. Very nice. Have a lovely time, mate.
I will.
Hablas Star Wars.
Indeed.
Cuba Libre.
Hablamos.
We'll see you next time. Everyone knows where to find us. I'll stick some contact details in the show notes, but that's not what this show is for, really, anyway. So
yeah, that's cool. I mean, if you want to hear me swearing even more than I done in this episode, because I've had a good record on Talk Star Wars, the main show, because I've been 3 episodes now without cursing, which, considering what I've come from in terms of the Crazy Train, is fucking impressive.
Fuck yeah.
I drop F's and C's everywhere on the Crazy Train. I'm prolific with my profanity,
and I'm so disciplined now. I don't think I've sworn once on this one.
I think you've been. Yeah, I think maybe not on this one either. Yeah, I think
you could be
probably
a kids' TV presenter. Well, you can't because of the license, but you could be a kids' TV presenter.
I could.
Oh, Mark,
swearing.
I'm nowhere near thin enough for a kids TV presenter. And
hey, I don't know. I've seen some horror story presenters. I think you could definitely fit. There's definitely a niche for you. I think
you're not gay enough, Mark.
I have the ridiculous hair for it.
I'm right there with you, mate. What little there is of mine left.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm a Chewy compared to you two, then, am I?
Probably.
Well, you're all right, Mark. There's nothing wrong with your hair. You've always had a good head of hair.
That's just because I'm a little bit taller than you, and you can't see right at the top where it's getting perilously thin.
I'll tell you what, it's fantastic being 6'7" for exactly that reason.
Well, you'll be able to examine mine in detail next time we get together, Rob. You'll be able to see what's going on up there.
Shine it up.
Mine's depressingly fine when it comes to, even though I've got a decent head of hair in terms of how much is there, it's so fine that if it's not sort of squeaky clean every day, you can see just how thin it gets and how thin I am, and how thin the hair is overall, because it just all kind of gets greasy and clumps together. It's horrible.
How depressing! What a depressing note that was.
Yeah, I know. After Darkside is right.
After Darkside, yeah, we're all full of self-loathing.
Bald.
Thanks for your intros, Rob. They're hilarious. There's going to be a different episode. A different intro for every episode on a 6-week rota.
Yeah,
very, very funny.
Yeah, well, you gave me a mandate to do a particular one, and I did that one, and I thought that's good, but I feel like there's some fun to be had here, so I did another 5.
It was the least interesting one, Mo.
Well, you kind of gave me the proper brief, and then I just, once I'd done that, I just had to fuck around with it, and the only thing I wanted to do was try and get Palpatine voice for the word titty sprinkles, but
well, we can always add new ones next time. Maybe I'll get you to do an outro.
Once we've done 6 episodes, I'll have to record a new set, won't I? That's what it is.
And outros.
Get Palpatine
outros. There you go.
Sugar tits.
I can go down the whole Mel Gibson soundboard route.
That's what we should do. It should be Melpatine.
Melpatine.
Is he a misogynist?
Hashtag Melpatine, yeah.
And an anti-Semite, let's not forget.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that too. Yeah.
Blimey, that could be fun to play with Palpatine.
Holocaust
and an anti-English, but I don't know what's the anti-English, anti-Praetorian.
He is. He doesn't like us, does he?
Doesn't like us, no.
Well, I won't be inviting him on to talk Star Wars. He can.
No, screw him.
Yeah.
Mind you, did make Apocalypse.
Piss off, Mel Gibson.
Fantastic film.
That was a pretty good film, but he's still a bit of a bellend.
Yeah, piss off, Mel Gibson, you jerk.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We're out.